I was born in a very traditional Jewish family. We had a mother, a father, two grandmothers, a grandfather, lots of uncles, aunts. In 1940, the Germans invaded the Netherlands. The rules changed first against all the residents, the total population, but not very strong because the Germans were smart and they kind of eased into their regime to kind of lull the population to sleep. By 1941, they started against the Jews. We were not allowed to shop in certain stores. Right on the store, no Jews allowed. Like we have no dogs allowed, we were no Jews allowed. We had to wear a yellow star, and I can still see my mother and my grandmother sewing the yellow stars on our clothing.
In 1943, my parents had very good friends, and they strongly advised my family the kids should never be with the adults. It's just too dangerous. So they decided to try to find a place for the two of us. We were told that there would be a few days and we would see them again. Of course, that didn't happen. When we were put into hiding, my parents were told they should go into hiding also. And the whole family wanted to be together, which, looking back, was a bad idea. One of the stepdaughters of one of the hiding places had a relationship with a Nazi, and if you turned in a Jew, you could get paid. In Dutch money $7.50, so she turned in 7 people. My father, my mother, my grandmother, his brothers, a cousin. My parents, when they were taken away, they threw a postcard out, written in pencil. This is difficult. Everything went wrong. Please take care of our children. It was very chancy when you took in a child or a person or a family. If you were caught, you were all in trouble and you could all be deported to a death camp. They tried me at different places, and not everybody wanted me, unfortunately, but somebody turned out to want me. They already had about 6 kids. I was welcomed there. They treated me wonderfully well. Ultimately, I stayed there for 2.5 years.
And I ended up with a doctor's family in the city of Amersfoort, which is not far from Utrecht. And I started to cry. And they said, "Why are you crying? You don't have to be afraid." I wasn't afraid. I said, "I want to sleep with my sister. I don't want to sleep alone." They had always had a housekeeper nanny, and one day she cornered me. She cornered me and she said, "What kind of parents do you have? How come they never call you?" And I said, "I don't know where my parents are. I'm an evacuee from Rotterdam. We were bombed, and I don't know where they are." I was safe until someone from my own city recognized me on the street. And he was a good guy. He did not betray me. Went to the powers to be and said, "Leah should not be seen on the street, because if I see her, other people might see her." So from then on, for 2 years, I was not allowed on the street, but they did have a backyard, so weather permitting, we were allowed to play in the backyard.
And they came checking. They heard rumors there was a Jewish child. And one time they were supposed to come and check the farm. But I said, "What did you do with me?" He says, "Well, what could I do? I prayed, and they stopped on the either side of the house. Never came in." It breaks me up.
But 1945 rolled around and the flags came out and I was allowed out in the street. So we went out on the street and we got white bread, which I tell the kids, nobody wants to eat white bread these days. It's not healthy, but it was cake.
The very young people should be aware that this can happen. It could possibly happen again. Be aware of the signs.
But the only way we survivors can make it clear to people is by telling our story. And the last words I always say, please share. Please share with your parents, with your siblings, with family that may not have the chance to hear or see a live survivor.